right, so here we go. Hi, everybody. This is Dr. Goggin from Feel Good Functional Medicine. I'm super happy to have a bunch of folks on this webinar. We're going to talk a little bit about a few things. I want to talk briefly about functional medicine because some people know what that is, some people don't. And I also want to talk about a little bit about energetics of the body, just a bit, so you guys have some background. And we're going to talk about the LifeWave patches, and we're going to talk about sort of what we're doing, how we can protect ourselves and keep ourselves healthy during this time. So I hope everybody's staying healthy and finding the silver lining of being home. We've taken up some dancing in our house. There is, you know, my husband and I are dancing with the kids and doing shuffle dancing. It's pretty funny. So maybe we'll learn tango next. So I encourage you guys to try and pick up a new hobby during this time. And so I want to welcome everybody here. Right now, you are able to unmute yourself if you want to contribute something. As you enter the meeting, your microphone is off. But if you want to contribute something, I really would love to hear what's going on with you all, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and get on with a few little slides here. So I'm going to share my screen. And you guys get the inaugural show of this slideshow. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, slideshow from beginning. Okay, so we are in Bellingham, Washington, and our office is Feel Good Functional Medicine, and we're trying to really help people help themselves. That's our big mission, is giving people tools so that they can understand how best to take care of themselves and feel great with their bodies, their body, mind, and spirit. So I'm going to talk a little bit about functional medicine and some of the kind of energetic work that we do quickly before we move into talking specifically about some of the patches and things like that. So I'm Sunny Goggin. Nice to see you guys. You guys probably know me. But this is how we want people to be feeling, like this. We want you crossing the finish line at the end of the day, so you're really feeling great. And in order to get people to do that, what we need is habits to be happening. And so one of the primary things we try and help people do is feel good enough so they can take those long walks, they can go out swim, they can get on their bike and ride. My kid this week just said she wanted to go mountain biking. And the last time in our family we really talked about a bicycle was after my husband broke his hand riding a mountain bike. But I'm still open, but we want people to be able to do all those things. And the problem is, right now, this is what our lives look like. We're really running. We're not taking time to sit down, and we're multitasking like we're all doing right now. We're finding we aren't having the time to really get good sleep. And I like this guy. He's definitely multitasking, coming off of work and sitting and trying to do some meditation. And that is leading me into, well, how can we really help people have the time and feel good enough to do all the things they need to do to take care of themselves? So, you know, when you think about your life and how you're feeling, I see a lot of people who are generally feeling unwell, feeling stressed, not able to focus, not sleeping super great, having pain, just no good answers from what they've been trying to do with their, you know, provider, whoever that is. And what we want to do is see if we can give new tools. In the body, when we have problems like imbalance and insufficiency, not enough blood flow, not enough nutrients, not enough removal of toxins, or removal of just basic waste, because, you know, our cells are pooping all the time, and that has to go out, right? So when we don't have the sufficient amount of nutrients and there's imbalance in the body, what starts to happen is we start to have symptoms. And after symptoms, we have problems with function, and that can be in the cells and also in the whole organs. And once you start to come down this progression, you begin to have abnormal lab work, and next you're going to end up with chronic illness. And our hope is that we're going to give people the tools to prevent chronic illness. And so it's never too late to turn it around, I'm telling you. And now we have some tools that really can help people turn things around by supporting all the body's systems. In functional medicines, really what we want is max benefit, least harm. Max benefit, least harm. So I'm looking for safe ways with few side effects that you guys can feel better. And so that means I'm looking for all the things good. I'm looking for people to be getting vitamins, minerals, community rests, that their self-concept to be bolstered, to have movement and interaction and amazement for this wonderful world that we live in, and limiting all of those more negative things like coronavirus. All right, getting rid of the toxins in the body, removing all of the things that make it so we're out of balance. And so as we try and promote balance in the body, hydration is so important. And we can make these choices every day. What are we going to do to support the body? Of course, drinking water is very important. And for being resilient against viruses, hydration is super critical. So please make sure, especially during this time when we all might be at a little risk of catching something, drink plenty of water. Another thing is it's the time for us to make sure that we are actually choosing the healthy foods. Sugar reduces immunity. So if you eat a bunch of sugar, your killer T cells that could prevent you from getting sick are going to be lower, and your immunity is lower. So it's so important. This is the best time you could possibly let go of sugar. Okay, if any of you guys are still doing sugar, you know, we periodically do. For me, it's chocolate. Chocolate talks to me a lot, and it can. My little devil, food devil, can say to me, "Hey, it's a health food." But really, during this time, pick low sugar chocolate if you're going to have chocolate. Fruits and vegetables, and obvious, choose beautiful berries, lots of antioxidants, and these are all going to help with your immunity. Another thing that definitely helps your immunity is taking some time to breathe, taking some time to meditate, and really bringing the cortisol levels down in your body. The same thing with sleep. Sleep will bring cortisol levels down in the body. So exercise also too, and then as we're trying to prevent getting sick, raising the core body temperature with sauna and exercise can be one strategy. Additionally, what we're seeing is that this is a heat sensitive, when we talk about coronavirus, heat sensitive, and so raising your body temperature can be helpful. In fact, very interesting, back in the 1918 flu, the Spanish flu, some of the most successful treatment of the flu was in the sanatoriums, and that was the hospitals, where they would use alternating hot and cold therapy. Nowadays, if you go to a spa, they will use alternating hot and cold exposure as a way to give you anti-aging. And that's because it boosts all the body systems. It increases your mitochondrial density, makes more energy in your body. It helps your immune system. And so right now, one of my big suggestions to you is to try a little bit of turning your shower cold at the end of your shower. So you do an alternating little hot, cold when you're in the shower, and that might be helpful for you. With exercise, if you bring your body up with exercise before you jump in a cold shower, that also has been shown in studies to make a difference in the number of cells that you have to fight off infection. So what to do when we do get sick, I want to talk a little bit about that. I have some thoughts on how you can support your body if you do get sick. And if anybody here, you guys know me and you're feeling sick, please shoot me an email or call me if you have a cell phone so that I can give you some thoughts on what we should do. If you think you might have so the first signs of coronavirus, I want to tell you this, loss of sense of smell, loss of sense of taste, those are very big ones. Also, it will begin, the coronavirus takes about 5 days for it to take hold. During that time, there's no symptoms. And then people may get a mild sore throat, maybe a dry cough, a little bit of fever, and usually it's about day 12 of the infection where they start to get more ill. And so if when you first come down with something, if you do, you need to seek help from your PCP to get yourself tested. And then do these things that I'm going to tell you. Okay, I'm about to give you a little slide here that will give you some thoughts on what you might be able to do. So this is, once again, for those of you that I'm not your physician, this is I want you to go look this up or talk with your physician about this. I cannot treat people who I'm not their doctor, but this is an herbal protocol that was suggested by this amazing gentleman, Stephen Buhner, the best herbalist in the country. And this is a protocol that he suggests for treating COVID-19 if someone gets sick. These are things that can be found on the internet. And what I'll do is everyone, if you email us, we'll send you this slide so you can know what that is, okay? The core protocol is directed towards the virus, and the immune protocol increases the immune system. The cytokine storm reduction reduces the symptoms, okay? So these are all common herbs that we use in practice. And I think it's important, sorry, for people to know these nutrients for immunity and inflammation: vitamin C, magnesium. You guys know how I love vitamin C. I am such a big proponent of vitamin C. Vitamin C has been shown for many years, before we even had the benefit of randomized controlled trials, to be effective long ago, before we started to have lots of medications. Vitamin D is so important. Zinc is very important, in particular with this current pandemic that we have. Quercetin may be actually a treatment, and it could be a helpful supplement. Vitamin A and antioxidants. This is really about reducing the oxidative stress on the body. So I want to show you this video to talk a little bit about how energy medicine works, because really what I do is energy medicine. So energy medicine uses waves that we cannot see. It uses light. And so when we look around us, we do not see all of the waves it's almost like we're swimming in an ocean of waves. And this is a really funny video I'm going to let you guys watch, and then we'll talk about it. Oh, hang on. Can you hear it? Can you guys hear it? No, okay, wait, okay, hang on. Okay, hang on a second. Can you hear me? You can hear me. Let me just minimize it a little bit, and I'll get this so that you can, oh, Balderdash. Oh, well, I'm not sure why I'm not able to play this, but this is a video of a kiddo who actually breaks the glass by singing to it, okay? So the waves coming out of his throat, he's gonna sing to the glass, and it breaks. And he's explaining what he's about to do. And the reason I want you to see this and think about this is we can't see the waves that are coming out of his mouth, but somehow he's not touching that glass at all. See how the straw is jumping right now? He's not touching the glass, but there are waves coming out, and they're going to hit that glass and break it. And it's so funny when it happens, because he's super surprised about it. He's going to do it one more time. I think this is the third time is the charm. No! He can't believe he broke the glass either. His mom's in the background saying, "You didn't break a glass." And so funny video. All right. So this also is another beautiful video, just talking about what frequencies can do in the body. And if you haven't seen this amazing, this is the Tacoma Bridge. And after it was built, a 35-mile-an-hour wind, and that's not a big breeze at all, got this bridge rocking and rocking and rocking until the bridge, you could see, oh my gosh, can you imagine how this must have been, people just walking away from it. There's even somebody still on the bridge, but they got off just in time before we're all going to see this collapse. And so this is a vibration that's causing something to happen. And energy medicine, whether it's a light wave, look at the bridge collapse, that's really something. So whether it's a light wave or it is a oh gosh, now I'm not going to get back to, sorry guys, technical difficulties. Okay, the body, okay, so now back into this. So the idea is that we're using different kinds of energy to affect the body. And in our body, when we take a medicine, or if we have a hormone in our body, that hormone, we have this idea that it's searching for a receptor, it finds a receptor, and something happens in a cell, okay? The truth of what is really happening is that something in your body, a medicine, a hormone, comes in and it finds a receptor, and then there's a frequency change. There's a change in the cell due to a frequency. And that is actually what is making something change in the body. And so we're taking advantage of that, whether it's life wave patches or frequency specific microcurrent or the beamer. What we're doing is we're just taking out the middleman of the medication, and we're using frequency to change something chemically in the body. And that is why this is so special. And how can we use that invisible energy? Well, we use in our office frequency specific microcurrent and these amazing patches, which I have to say now with great reverence, as I've watched people go from feeling like there was no hope to feeling like they see the light. They see the light at the end of the tunnel because they are feeling different. These patches, when used very simply, taking a little patch and sticking it on your skin, people have amazing changes in what's happening. So when on lifewave.com, you can find some beautiful videos on how exactly it works, but basically I want to explain it to you. Our bodies are always emitting light, always putting out infrared light, and you can't see infrared light, right? So if we were to put on night vision goggles and go into a cave, we would be all lit up because we're putting out this light. This little patch right here has tiny crystals painted on it. And when you take those crystals and you put them up against the skin, they reflect back some of the light, okay? What light do they reflect back? Well, they're going to reflect back certain wavelengths of light, depending on what we're trying to make happen at the cellular level, okay? So patch by your skin. If it goes on your skin, the light comes out, bounces off, goes back into the body. And what we do is we place these at acupressure points. You may put it right here, one of the primary acupressure points, or on the back of your neck below that big thumb, C7, another primary acupuncture point. Whoever is telling you about this is able to show you where do you need to put these patches to make them work for you, okay? These patches are the reason. Hang on one second. Hey. Oh. So sorry guys, my daughter had a quick question. What was I saying? Okay. The neat thing about these patches, and the reason I feel so comfortable telling you about them, and even within my office telling people about these, I've put them on virtually every person, is because it is deeply science-based. It is rooted in the new understanding of energetics and medicine. And the new way of medicine is going to be that we use things to support the body so the body can do the healing, right? And these patches with their, I have not had anyone with a side effect from putting a patch on them. And the immense power of the patches to support people, it's just been incredible within my office. So there on lifewave.com, there are a lot of research articles under products. There's a drop-down list and you'll see science, and you can find all of the research studies right there. When we look at what happens with people when they have experienced these, I mean, I have had folks who have had years of pain who've come to me and said, well, golly, how can it be possible that I had years of pain and now my knee is not hurting? And that is one of the coolest things about this, is that people have more energy, sleeping better, pain is better. And this is a great moment that if somebody wants to tell me a little bit, if you want, I'm gonna open my chat real quick so that I can see if there's anything in there. Okay, so if anybody has wants to ask me a question now, or has had an experience that they want to tell us a little bit about, would love to hear that. And just type in the chat. I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to unmute. I'm going to unmute John. John's helping me host this. John, I'm unmuting you, my friend. Okay, I should be unmuting you. Are you trying to unmute yourself? Why can't I unmute you? Oh, I don't know. Maybe he doesn't have. Okay, that's all right. So I want to tell you at least what has happened for me.
Can you hear me now?
I'm having every week. I can tell you. Oh, John, I gotcha, huh?
Yeah. Sorry.
Can you say something?
Well, yeah. Hi, everybody. I'm glad to be here. It's been kind of a crazy time for everybody, I know. But I'm grateful to be here at home. I'm healthy. Got a little bit of cabin fever, of course, like I'm sure a lot of you do. I think probably everybody does these days. So, but it's like Linda was saying, this is a kind of a terrible thing in some ways, but there's a silver lining, because we can actually, I'm like that running guy, always running, always, involved in my work. And I've had to really slow down and kind of reevaluate my whole existence almost. And so what I've learned from it is, I think what a lot of people are realizing is what's really important in your life, and I think that's why lately I've appreciated my wife more. I appreciate the fact that there's beautiful birds and trees and mountains all around me. I got a lot of eagles and where I live that are always flying by. So sometimes when you're so busy, you don't notice those things as much. And when we're in a situation like we are now, it's very, very different. So I also just feel like I've almost been able to feel the power of the LifeWave patches more, because my life has slowed down. It's kind of weird. It's like I feel like this is the healthiest almost I've been in as long as I can remember. And so I got involved in this, of course. Linda knows my story, is that I had really bad back pain from a degenerative vertebrae. And it got so bad that I could barely do my work. And 3 hours after I put the IceWave patches on, it just switched off. The pain went away, and it hasn't come back since. So that's kind of my story. I love the company. I love Linda. She's been wonderful to work with. And yeah, let's spread the word.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much, John. Yeah. And Nancy, I know that you've had some really neat experiences.
Well, that too, but also I wanted to introduce you to my friend Sherry, who's on the line. And she is a retired professor of occupational therapy from the University of Missouri. and she practices craniosacral therapy. And so we've had some discussions, and one of the things that she was interested in is something that you and I have talked about before, which is how do health professionals discuss energy therapies without getting in trouble with liability because of their profession. So I don't know if she's up to saying anything now, but I'll be interested to hear about whether your conversation today made her more comfortable just listening to how you talk about it.
Yeah. Oh, well, so it's great to have you, Sherry. I think that this has been an interesting transition for me personally, because I have had to find a way to help physicians understand about it, who it really is a little bit of a foreign idea. And what's nice about LifeWave in particular is that because it is a support, and if someone understands acupuncture, it can be helpful. And we're not providing medical therapy. We're not making medical claims here. It makes it easy to have somebody try a patch. And so often people will try the patches and they'll notice such a change in how their body feels that it doesn't even matter whether or not they believe that it's real, right? And because it's truly is deeply therapeutic. And that's what I've done is I've put a nice wave patch on somebody and or had them look at some of the science so they feel more comfortable, and just sort of phrase it as, oh, I want to see if this makes a difference for you, because for those that have worn these for a while, I mean, they feel super different and they're very thankful. And I don't think, as long as you don't make medical claims, there's not any problems with liability. But that's what, we don't, these haven't been tested with like any infections. What they do though, is we can say like that the X39 increases people's energy. It improves their sleep. It improves wound healing. It improves their recovery from sports. So all these things we can say because we have research. And so as long as we've got research, you can let people know those things. The other, there's a whole bunch of patches that I haven't really brought out to discuss yet. But do you have any questions specifically, Sherry, that I could answer?
I haven't tried the patches. I will try the patches at some point. I'm using have ordered, I don't have it yet, a machine called a Guardian that makes a homeopathic remedy. Do you know that machine?
So I would imagine, does it sort of read people individually and create a custom homeopathic? Yeah, I'm familiar with those kinds of machines. That's another form of energy medicines. That's pretty neat. And it's all about the vibration, and this kind of complement to craniosacral, because craniosacral is such deep healing. Combination of homeopathic and getting people's energy, moving with the patches, which is kind of how I think of it, is that it helps move energy, because how energy gets blocked, and it's what you feel with your hands when you're trying to feel somebody's rhythm. And I'm so admire you for being a craniosacral therapist. I would love to one day train in that kind of modality. It's so beautiful. It's true. But yeah, I think that that Guardian sounds like that's going to be a fabulous addition to what you're doing. And it'll be interesting to see how it works with the patches.
Did you have a specific question regarding that or comment, Sherry?
Well, I wonder how to explain it to people. If it works, which it seems like it will, then how can I explain what can I say to people about what I'm doing that won't get me arrested for practicing medicine without a license here in Missouri, where some people think it's evil? And
yeah. Well, yeah, I think that is such a great question, because it's so important that everybody understands the answer to this question. And the primary thing is that it doesn't require being a doctor at all to give somebody a, you know, something that's equivalent in the FDA's minds to like a Band-Aid. It's safe like a Band-Aid, and it can't hurt you, and it can support you. And so then you just have in your, you know, what's nice is, hang on a second. What I like is that LifeWave gives me things like this nice book. And I can tell people, it says they get rapid pain relief. And I'm allowed to say this, and I'm not as a doctor, but you can say this: reduced inflammation, supports wound healing, improved energy and vitality, improved mental clarity, enhances sports performance, faster recovery from exercise, and improved skin appearance. So all those things are in like my little book, and that's also on the website. And all those things you can say, it's not, those are not medical claims. And so when someone asks how it works, this is what my first response to everybody when they ask me how it works, I say, it works great. And then it might be enough, right? For some people, if they were like, that's not a good enough answer, Dr. Goggins, then I might go into a doctory thing and try and explain what I explained before about how medications come into the body and they attach to the cell and something happens. But really it's a vibration or a wave that causes something to happen. And so we're just giving a wave on the outside of the skin. So that's how I explain it, but I don't think people should do that. I think you say, great. And then if they want science, then you just direct them to our website where they can find, I mean, there's like 70 papers back there at least, where the science is. And that way people don't feel like you're pushing anything on them, and they can explore a little bit. But you'll be, it really
I
is.
was going to look for some of the, I've seen homeopathic literature that for her homeopathic machine, that without talking about the machine itself, she could talk about how the homeopathic remedies work.
Oh yeah, so are you wanting to know about, yeah, I'm sorry, are you wanting to know about how your machine, how would you present the machine or LifeWave?
Well, both.
No,
The conversation's both, I think.
Both.
I mean, the discussion is, but what you're saying is general, that you have something you can cite that tells you what you can and can't say.
Yeah. Well, and with homeopathics, of course, are you a homeopath?
no, I'm an occupational therapist.
Oh, okay, right. So in some states, in order to practice homeopathy, you need to have a homeopathic license. And so I think that you'd have to investigate in your state. Fortunately, with LifeWave, you don't need a license. But that's something that I would really look into whether or not that's required in your state. And if it's not, you know, homeopathics, you can always tell people it's water because, or, you know, it's water because really there's not any of the original substance in it. It's all about the vibration, right? So, I mean, that's it. But I think you're going to have to look a little closer into what happens in your state. That's a great question, though. I'm excited for you. I can't wait to hear more about that. Is there any other questions that I could answer? And so what I'm going to do, for those of you who don't know, I'm going to tell you briefly. Me, when I started to use the patches, I was feeling better. I was not feeling like I wasn't feeling like I do now. And now it's been about 3 months, maybe longer, three or almost 4 months. And I seriously feel 10 years younger. I mean, it's weird to say that, but I feel like I felt years ago. I'm much more vital. I am much sharper. I am physically more fit. My body is changing, and it's like, dang, I am just so impressed by how they've helped me and how they've helped my patients to feel better. So
I would concur with that. I remember waking up and having this feeling and thinking, I remember this feeling. I used to feel this way. And I think in my case, I mean, it's got to go back decades to my teenage years before I got so caught up in so much pain and tension that, you know, it was like a feeling from my distant past, but it was like, oh, wow.
It's like, where did this go?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very exciting. And yes, John, let's unmute you. Okay, you're unmuted, John. Did you raise your hand?
Yes, I did. So yeah, I just want to mention, I noticed the person who introduced me to these wonderful patches that you know, relieve my back pain is on there, Miyako Gledhill. And I was wondering if we could unmute her so we could just say hi. And we're kind of, it's kind of like we're all.
Miyako? Oh yeah. Hey, Miyako. Hey.
Hi.
How are you?
Thank you. I enjoy.
Good. I am so
Yes.
glad you told John about those patches.
Thank you. Thank you. Mm.
Okay, and anybody who wants to speak can unmute themselves. So with I'm gonna go back and share a little bit here. Back to. Okay.
So I just wanted to share quickly about, this is Rebecca. Hi, and thank you, Miyoko and John. It's great to see you again. I'm sorry I'm not available by video, and I will be in a few minutes, but I just recently, I've been using the patches now, and the X39 has really helped me feel more rejuvenated after I sleep. So, you know, during the day, I put it on for the 12 hours, and then I've noticed when I take it off at night before I'm going to sleep, and it's just made me wake up. When I wake up, I'm more restful. And so it's nice to hear Sharon say that she felt like she's getting back to her old self, because I recently had I'm 56, and I just recently was taking care of a caregiver's children, and we were outside, of course, distancing, but I tried out his skateboard and I fell, and I thought I broke my elbow. And it hurt so bad. And I iced it, of course, and you know, did the normal ice on, ice off, and for the inflammation, and I did end up taking a little ibuprofen, but then I noticed the next day it was really my neck that really hurt more after this fall. And I was out of X39. I just ran out, and I'm getting some more today, thankfully, Dr. Goggin. My friend Sunny, I call her Sunny, Sunny Goggin. So she is Sunny to me. And anyway, she, you know, I tried the ice wave patches on my neck. And at first I was like, oh, this isn't helping. So I moved it around like it said.
Like a clock. Yeah.
Move the clock, yeah. And the second place actually was the key, and I found, and it really relieved I can now turn my neck again. And I was just really shocked that, you know, I kept thinking, oh, I got to try this. And it really did help. And it helped with my elbow pain too. I did put an ice wave patch on my elbow twice, and my elbow's not broken, I don't think. It's majorly bruised, but I think because of the patch, I was just like, okay, now I'm a true believer that you know, I got to try the ice wave patches myself again, and it really did help. So I just wanted to share that. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing. I really appreciate that. It's nice to hear what happens with people, and that makes it easier to not be shy. If somebody needs to know about the patches because they are hurting or their energy is low and they can't seem to figure out how to feel better, patches are something that really can give them a little leg up to feeling better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and finish that slideshow. Oh no, that's
Sunny,
not
there
what I
was
meant to
there
do.
was a question on the chat that asked if the
Oh.
effects were lasting.
Oh, excellent question. So are the LifeWave patches, do the benefits stay? And because I've only been using these for a short period of time, and I patched the heck out of myself. So I haven't really laid off of them yet for 3 months. I've been using an X39 every day. I have talked to other people who say, and I think John Bishop's one of these, is that true, John? That you weren't using it as often, like the Ice Wave all the time, and still were noticing that the pain reduction was staying. With the X39, so that you guys understand how it works differently than the other patches. The X39 increases a copper peptide in the body, and this copper peptide stimulates and activates your stem cells that you have in you already. So instead of paying $5K for a stem cell transplant, let's activate the stem cells in your body and see if they can find what needs to be fixed and fix it. And so it really is, it's inside out healing using your body's wisdom by using the X39 patch. And if you go and look up GHK, that's the name of the peptide, in PubMed, you can find a slew of research telling you what GHK does in the body. And we have really clear papers showing increase in GHK with this patch. And you can't swallow GHK. This is really the only way that you can increase GHK in the body. So that's what makes it super cool. It's very exciting. And let's see, where was I? I have just a few more slides. I'm trying to see if there's anything else there that's super helpful for you guys. Let me look and see what I got. All right, I'm gonna just share my screen one more time. Share, oops. Cancel slideshow from current slide. Okay, so we were talking about how people have been using this. This is something, if you start to look, of course we can't see patches on people who are on our athletes now, but athletes are using these patches. People are, and if anyone knows somebody going to the Olympics, we'd like to know. The Olympics now have been pushed out because of the pandemic, but we want to support them, and the company will provide patches if someone agrees to have to be followed through their experience. And so here's what I was talking about. Activating stem cells with the LifeWave X39. Please, please, if you know somebody that needs this, let one of us know so that we can help them, because this is the most exciting thing in medicine. Well, okay, most exciting thing for body support that I have seen. With X39, just so you know, this is like an affordable alternative to injectable stem cells. And I think that is very exciting for people. Anti-aging is one of the most popular markets. And as right now we have a ballooning elder population, wouldn't it be nice if we could turn the clock back a little bit for a whole bunch of people? So this is a breakthrough. There's nothing like it. And within the market, that's what's nice about X39 is that there's no competition. If someone was looking to have a little side business or share it with people so they can get low commissions. So I'm actively looking for people to help me. If you don't have to, maybe you don't want to be somebody that promotes a product, but you may know somebody else that would like to make a little money on the side, or right now they might not be able to go to work because everybody's not able to go to work. And this is something that you can do from home, because we can have meetings like this to share it with people. And that company is still producing. They have not closed down their plant at all. So I want to invite you to consider, if you if you're livelihood has been reduced because of the pandemic right now, me or whoever invited you to this webinar could really give you something that you could do that could help you bring in a little bit of income during this time. So, and these are the things that I mentioned to Sherry before. What we can tell people that X39 does: pain relief, reduces inflammation, supports wound healing, energy and vitality, mental clarity, enhances your sports performance, faster recovery, and improved skin appearance. So I'm pretty excited to be able to read the list off. And John has been using there's also some patches that help with skin, the aloe vera. It's got a whole skincare line. The aloe vera comes in a little box like this, and in this box, if you're interested in skincare, I just thought I'd show this to you guys. There are 2 patches of the skin patch, the aloe vera patch, and a day and a night cream that if you use this for a while, and you're gonna watch a few years melt off. So I'm excited about that. I'm gonna use it on my skin. And so it is using a product that makes people. Yes, Nancy, did you say?
Well, about that product, I mean, what I'm really interested in is not the surface skin cells so much as the internal skin cells. The skin cells are so integral to so many different, parts of the body that it could. Well, in particular, Leonard has this problem with his artery in his brain, and it seems to me that I hadn't thought about it before, but this might be the most relevant product for trying to get that vascular system to.
Right, all the linings of everything. Yeah, that's a really good thought. I love that. The different patches. There's a patch that helps with sleep. There's a patch that helps to reduce inflammation specifically. There's a patch that helps with mood. There's a patch that helps with calming. There's a patch for horses. So, and horses don't lie. So there are a lot of different, there may be maybe 12 patches. Is that about right? I think. So the LifeWave company is a really sweet company that supports the people that share. We are not employees of that company. We're independent distributors, and it's really nice to give someone the gift of feeling better, and that's really what LifeWave puts in your hands as a present to a person who chooses to share it. Because they did this great study. They gave a whole bunch of people $5. And half of the people, they said, give the $5 away. And half of the people said, go spend it however you want. And at the end of the study, after 5 days, the people that were the happiest were the people that got the $5 and gave it away. And so it's that kind of experience when you're able to help somebody feel better, maybe give them an opportunity for like a job when they need a job, or help somebody sleep at night that's not slept in a long time. That's priceless.
Linda, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
You can hear me. Okay, I have a couple of questions, Linda.
Oh, yes.
Okay, first of all, I want to give you a quick testimonial because 10 days ago I joined the company. Okay, my problem was I had a big pain with the sciatica.
Oh.
And I was just limping all the time. And about 5 days ago, it only stopped. But I thought it was because I walk around, I do a little exercise. But then I realized it's the X39 that I've been using, So it must be because there was nothing else that I did. But okay, the basic question I want to ask you, do you know if X39 has helped any people with autistic situations?
So when we were in Las Vegas, there was a meeting, a lot of people who were using X39, and there were definitely people who were talking about supporting autism with the patches, because it's not, that's what's nice about the patches, is that they are general. And if someone has an issue, when you give a stem cell, the stem cells are going to go and try and find the issue. There's usually several things that are happening with someone who is on the autistic spectrum. And in functional medicine, we think of things like toxicities, things that need to get out of the body. And so when I would be thinking about how to use patches for someone on the spectrum, I would be thinking about what patches will help with detoxification, with energy production and healing, and also sleep and decreasing inflammation. So I would love to talk with you sometime more about that. But you know, when we think of what is the major detoxifier in the body, the major antioxidant in the body is glutathione. And many times people on the spectrum have a great deal of inflammation. And so what will reduce inflammation? The Eon patch reduces inflammation, and it has been shown to do some brain balancing. The X39 also calms the brain. If you look at the last research, it's so beautiful, looking at EEG scans of the brain, day one, and after several weeks of using the X39 patch, there we saw a quieting and a balancing of brain EEG patterns. And that study was just recently done. It was a pilot study, so they're going to try and do a larger study. You can find that in your back office. So I think it's really exciting time, and that this sort of treatment could be helpful. Now it's not a treatment, let me not say treatment. This sort of support could be helpful.
Okay. Linda, could you give us your phone? So if you had to call you.
Yes. So if you want to reach out to me,
yeah,
you can email me at clinic@feelgoodfunctionalmed.com.
What is it? What is it?
clinic@feelgoodfunctionalmed.com. And since I'm live on YouTube, I'm not going to give out my phone number.
Okay, no, it's all right.
But I will, if you email me, I'll call you.
Okay, clinic@feelgood.
Functional, which is FUNCTIONAL.
Functional.
Med.com.
Med.com. Okay.
Yes. And so I think that could be something helpful for sure.
Oh, okay.
Thanks.
Thank you
That's
so
a
much.
great question. I love that question. Thank you so much. So with the patches, X39 is sort of basic. I say this each time, but I think of the X39 as if I were to buy a house and I sent a contractor in and I said, go in there and fix up everything that you need to fix up. That's like setting the X39, and the X39 activates stem cells and it goes and fixes what it finds needs fixing. For that reason, the X39 can take time for people to feel different. It doesn't mean that something is not happening inside, because when we look at some of the research that's been done with this patch, we see changes in amino acids, changes in things within the cell that will change what's happening within the body, but it just takes some time. Some people notice it immediately, and some people a little bit more time. So. And so this is really what we want at the end of the day. We want to be feeling awesome. We want to have a wake up this way and then go to bed still feeling good, having gotten everything done. So with that, I'm going to open it up. I'm gonna come back to our little Brady Bunch square here and see if there's any kind of a question. Oh, John wants to say a little something. John, you wanted to talk a little bit about antioxidants.
Yes, I wasn't prepared when you last meeting. You mentioned about I'm not a guru in antioxidants, but I do have this device called a biophotonic scanner, and basically what it does. I'll turn it on here. So it basically measures the antioxidant levels in your skin by taking your hand and placing it over the scanner. And so I noticed a big change after I started using the patches is that my score, usually they have this kind of shows it gives you a kind of a color gradient, the red being very not good. And now they have actually another color, which is actually platinum. So I started out right here in the orange, and then it started to go up every month. And so now my score is 89,000, which is it's in the optimal platinum area. So I have to say that I have to, kind of attribute that to these patches, because I don't have really another way of, I didn't change my diet or anything like that. So I just wanted to hold this up. If anybody wants to ask me more about this, this is my email. It's it's probably gonna be backwards. LifeWaveX39patch@gmail.com. So if anybody has an interest in that, I have this scanner, and it's the only one between Vancouver and Seattle. So if anybody's interested, let me know. And if you're nearby, then I can help you take that little test. It only takes 30 seconds, which is amazing. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that. It's kind of what I have in my home. It's like my nutritional lie detector. So
Beautiful.
I really have a lot of confidence. And I think
Yeah.
also the
Yeah.
X39, it's also in the studies shown to really raise antioxidants in the body. All those other things are wonderful too, but with so much free radicals in our environment and things like that we're having to deal with, it's really important that we keep our antioxidant levels as high as we can. So
I really appreciate that. And for those of you who don't know about free radical damage is really what ages us. It's what gets us sick. And so whether you have food that is not agreeing with you, or if you have toxins that are in you that need to come out, or if you have infections, all of those cause free radical stress. And so the X39 will increase your antioxidant levels. And also, important thing, Eddie mentions, thank you, Eddie, is that in terms of the effect sticking around, it's the X39 that truly has a long-lasting effect. And that's important to point out, because it's an inside-out healing. So I wonder if there's any more. We're about up with time. Are there any more questions that I can answer?
Linda, there's one more question.
Yeah.
I have a friend that has ED, and he asked me about it. It says, you think X39 could help?
I sure would be using an X39.
I see.
So and I would probably, what I would do is, there are some online sites that have patching protocols, and I would personally look up and see what patchingprotocol.com says about where's would be the best place to put the patches. But I would certainly try it. I think, let me know how that goes, because that's so important.
Sure.
Sexuality is such an important part of our lives, and erectile dysfunction affects a lot of guys. And so anything that we could do to improve blood flow, support the system might be helpful. So
All right.
be worth
Thank you, Linda.
trying.
Sure.
Yeah. All right, you guys. Well, I love you all. Hug to you. It's a virtual hug. I'll see you later. And I'm sending you all a bunch of love. Have a great day. Bye.
thanks, Linda.
Welcome.